Because Kermit the dog here, I am the goodest boy. I go with people when they need me, and even when they don't need me. My name is Melissa, and I'm known online as the Modern Mortician, and I'm an educator for those that are interested in knowing all of their options for end of life. And I have a sidekick named Kermit the dog, who's the first certified therapy dog working in funeral care for the state of Texas. He's not the only one anymore, but he is the OG. He's the DOG. And you snip him. So you've got the flowing water and the blood going down the drain and into the sewer system. He served over 100 funerals. Just last November was his 100th. He's been on Yahoo News. He's been on the Dodo. He's been on local news. He visited the survivors of the Parkland shooting 2 days after it happened last year. And he went down to the students of Santa Fe and the community there, here in Texas, the night of that school shooting. Thankfully, we haven't had to go to any more of those lately. With what I do, with how much I share of myself with other people, I'm so glad it came naturally for him to do the same, because here he is making waves and making people feel better. I got all my ball pit balls, because I usually take this to events and it's filled with all these bright colored balls so people will lay in the casket. I put the fun in funeral. Modern, I go to the families. I prefer to go where they feel comfortable. We make arrangements in their home, at their favorite coffee shop, or just over the phone. I don't have a traditional funeral home. I got my full funeral director's license and embalming license 6 years ago, and ever since then I have been very vocal about families' rights. Embalming is not necessary. I mean, we only started doing that to get soldiers home from the Civil War. It does not stem from Egyptian practices. And what we do to a body is completely different. It's actually quite violent, the embalming process. All your blood is drained out of your carotid artery or your femoral artery and replaced with, carcinogens and fluids and stuff that are meant to almost plastinize your tissues. Your internal organs are each stabbed with a long hollow needle, and you can tell by which organ you're hitting with that long hollow needle by the colors that come out. You line the body's orifices with plastic so it doesn't leak, and then you're putting this in a metal container. But what happens is it goes boom. Now, have you seen the mausoleums where there's like stuff dripping down the front? It's because for a long time we had a lot of issues with them busting. Even if they're sealed, that air and that gas has to go somewhere. So I feel like you asked a question before that and I went off on a tangent. I hope you know how to do editing. Oh, the biggest misconception is that embalming is required by law. It's usually very fun to have those conversations with people. One of the most memorable ones recently was the lady at the post office. So explaining this to the lady, of course, at first she's taken aback. So when you see that look in their eye, like, this person's strange, they're talking about death, you start smiling more because it gets entertaining. And the happier I am about it, the more relaxed they get about it. And then it just becomes, oh, here comes that girl that's gonna talk to me about death. And it no longer becomes so much of a scary thing as it is, what's she gonna tell me today? It's like, my hairdresser loves it when I come in because I have all these great stories for her. There was starting to be a death positive movement stemming out of California. We all kind of started blossoming on our own to be educators in this arena, and have taken a lot of heat from the industry, especially old white men, surprisingly. But yeah, there's a change on the horizon, and if we don't talk about it, who will? If we don't take the few seconds to educate somebody on their choices, I'm not doing my job.